And my name is Cameron Fenton. I'm the National Director of the Canadian Youth Climate Coalition, and I'll be co-emceeing with Kat tonight. And I come all the way here tonight from Vancouver on Coast Salish territories on the far other coast of the country, where we held our last regional Powershift in BC. And I'm excited to kick off the second one, the furthest east that Powershift has ever been. To get started, we wanted to invite up Emmett Peters to do a traditional welcome and welcome all of us here into this space and onto the territory. And so Emmett is a traditional elder from Athlone, Nova Scotia, and he's bringing tradition and culture back to Mi'kmaq and runs sweat lodges for all kinds of people every week. And here he's he's here to welcome us in our work starting here at Powershift Atlantic. So you join me in welcoming Emmett to the stage.
Holy shit, what a welcome. Before I pray, I want to say a couple of things. First of all, I'm really honored and privileged to be asked to come here and say a few things. When Robin was explaining, I didn't know what I was getting myself into. People ask me, what do you do? I said, I live the dream till I get my orders. And when she was explaining what was going on here, even though it was cold in here, I got the chills. But she was telling me what you guys were trying to do, so I was really, I'm a recovered drunk and alcoholic and drug addict, and I sobered up in Toronto, and I've been sober since 1976. When I first came back to my home in PEI, my cousin picked me up at the train station. I asked her, you guys have powwows here? This was only 1977. She started to laugh, and her and her husband were just killing themselves laughing. They said, what's that? So because of the residential schools and their impact in our communities, all our culture was taken away. So during these last few years, I've seen quite a change in our communities. Because of the residential school, it took me about 14 years to feel good about myself after I quit drinking. Because all my life I was told I was no good by the priests and the nuns. Anyway, I want you guys to really make a really strong effort into watching a movie called We Were Children. I think it's on Netflix, is it, Butch? Yeah. If you get a chance, if you want to know what I went through and some older people went through, get this movie and watch it. It's called We Were Children. It gives you a picture of what school was like back then. Anyway, before I begin, I noticed there's a lot of young women here, and in Native culture, in our culture, Native culture, women aren't equal to men. Nobody in their right mind would want to be equal to man. It's like going from a Cadillac down to a shitty little car or something. In our culture, women are a little bit stronger than us. We say a little bit, but it's like 10 to 1. And in our culture, the women are the boss. I got my cell phone with me. My boss calls, I got to answer, so don't get upset. So that's true. So if you come to a ceremony, Butch and some of these will tell you the same thing. When you come to our ceremonies, the women sit down and the men got to get up and serve them. In our culture, the women are the ones that have the power. So I'm glad to see so many women here. And before I shut up and pray, I want to tell you about a remarkable chief that was voted, that was chief but was never voted in, and she was a woman. Anybody here, I imagine there's a few here know a little bit about the residential schools. And Nora Bernard was responsible for bringing all that about, making people aware. And I knew her for a long time. She was one of my heroes. And I seen her when she first started to try to get this thing going. She used her own money from her own paycheck. And our people accused her of stealing. How can you steal from your own self? She used her own money to pay for faxes, telephone bills. Anyway, she finally got it going. And the mistake I made was I didn't know there was greatness here. I didn't realize what was going on. Because of Nora Bernard, all across Canada, probably part of the States, the residential awareness started to come around, and people started to see what Native people went through in residential schools. So Nora Bernard was one of the greatest, probably the greatest chief we've had in 200-300 years. Probably the greatest chief we had in 200-300 years. And I made the mistake of not recognizing that. That's why I'm so happy and I'm so privileged here, because all you young people, there's something great going on. And the thing you have to learn to do is you have to learn to recognize that greatness, even in yourself, but you do it in a humble way. You have to learn to recognize that. And learn, become aware of what's going on to what we call Mother Earth. That's really important. In the old days, when the chiefs, you guys heard of Geronimo, Crazy Horse, all these great leaders, they had a sacred law. And that law was nation first. They always put their people first. All great leaders always did that. The only time they were first was when they were in battle. They kind of switched that around now. They call us First Nations. They look after themselves first. Sorry if there's any chiefs up there. I know there's a council right here, but he's a good guy. But you have to put that in your head, that sacred law. Nation first. That's what you guys are doing here. That's why I'm so privileged to be here. Because you guys are taking charge. Powershift. Learning to put people first before yourself. Anyway, so the other thing is, you guys are working on something. There's many symptoms out there. There's global warming, there's corruption, there's all kinds of bad stuff going on. But all those are just symptoms of something we call capitalism. When you leave here, if you get a chance, get a dictionary and look up the word capitalize. You know what the definition means? It says to take advantage of. That's all it says. There's no ABC, there's no 1, 2, 3. That's all it says, to take advantage of. So what capitalism does, it teaches you to be selfish subconsciously. Not only are you going to take advantage of people, but also of the earth, of your future, of your grandchildren and their grandchildren. So it's important that you recognize the cause, and that cause is capitalism. If we don't deal with capitalism and corruption, we're not going to get anywhere. So think about those things when you're doing your work. Anyway, so I shut up now, for reals. Shit, I lost my line. You know, I got it. I'm an unusual elder because I swear more than I pray. And I met Donna Govan's cousins here, and when I'm doing a workshop or something, she's in the back, she's got a big sign, no swearing. I told her one time, why don't you just put my name on there? Emmett, no swearing. And the other thing that I like doing is I like to play poker, Texas Hold'em. If I'm not here I'm at the casino. But one thing, to me, the most important thing in life, to me, is praying. It's the most important thing in life, is to pray. I want to show you a really, really simple prayer tonight, and it will change your life. But you have to say it with feeling. And you know what that word is? Walalin. Walalin. That just means thank you. But if you say that all through the day, walalin, you become more aware and less selfish throughout the day. That's one of my secrets to happiness, is to say walalin. First thing in the morning, I give thanks for my wife, children, grandchildren, and then other stuff, my health and so on, and all the friends and family that I have. And then throughout the day, I say, well, I thank you for all the gifts you've given me. And that makes me happy all day, gives me energy. One time, I was working at the Friendship Center, and Chuck Duncan is a teacher there. He said, how come you're always so happy every time you come to work? And I said, it's my glasses. Here, try them on. So he puts the glasses on. He's looking around like that, like Mr. Magoo. Anyway, he said, I don't get it. I said, give me those, maybe they're not working. So I put them on. No, they're working. So I put them back on again. He said, I still don't get it. I said, these are my Indian glasses. Everywhere I look, I see Indians. See, these glasses are brown. And Halifax is the biggest reserve I've ever been in. Anyway. Oh, some of them are getting it. You know, what you're coming here today is to learn a new perspective. That's what you're coming here today. Now, what's her name? I forget that girl from Toronto. What's her name? I just met her upstairs. And I said, I love Toronto. It's the place where I sobered up. One time, you have to, once you look at things differently, whatever you're looking at has bound to change. If you look at something differently, whatever you're looking at is bound to change. One time when I sobered up in Toronto, I was on Yonge Street, I met this woman, she was like this. I couldn't believe it. She's just like that. She had arthritis. She had arthritis in her hands. You guys thought I was... It was arthritis. She had arthritis in her hands. So you have to change the way you look at things. And... boy, there's some slow people out here. Anyway, before there's balance, there has to be imbalance. It's a sacred law, or universal law. Before there is balance, before there is balance, it has to be imbalance. Remember that. Anyway. Okay, before we do anything important, we usually light sweetgrass, or cedar, or sage. What this does, it's a smoke signal to the Creator. See that? It's the same thing they used to teach you in cowboy movies, to send smoke signals. So what this does, it tells the Creator we're about to do something important. And to me, this is probably one of the most important conferences I ever spoke at, to see so many young people here that are willing to do something about the now and about the future. And maybe to start caring for the planet and for the future generations that are coming. Miss Kamerjina, Grasa my Kiskuk. Gudul Mala, Ulade, Tanda Mawidae. Grasa my Albidelina, Miss Cake, Bulko Obladi, Nuji Ketujadi, Sit Kamo, Miss Cake. The Lord of Ma, Mason Nu Tik Benha. The Lord would end up the Owen. Grass my is upon with them. But I will government and a gunjak men at latest name. Akruwa Sakamaya, Chiptoga, Nako, Echua, Daglu, Nakulai, got to get one algo went. I'm sitting on the house and some related, I can't say where went. Well, that's yeah, because you're going to make the nugget. I well, that's you, Jada. Got to be over my degrees, you're going to be. Well, I'll let you take them away. Make it day to me. Well, I'll let you, Jada. I'm so going, couldn't make. The jip away, some gun. What up, son? So going, couldn't make. Well, I'll let you take them away. I'm just going to translate that just briefly. What I said was, I thank the Creator for giving us another day. I also thank Him for all the help He's given us so far. And I thank Him for this gathering that we're going to have. And I told Him that I'm sorry for what we're doing to this planet, because when the grandchildren get here, it's probably going to be nothing here. We don't change our ways. And I told him, it seems to me there's no shame. There's no shame. Because we keep doing it over and over and over. So that's why I think this, what we're doing here, what you're doing here, is probably one of the most important conferences I ever spoke at. And I want to thank you. I'm really, really honored and privileged that you asked me to come up here and pray with you and talk to you a little bit. And I wish you guys all good health, happiness, and long life.